On this week's episode of Beer with the Boys, the happy hour episode, we bring in a special guest, Stevie Menne from the Essential Uncomfortable podcast. Up and coming, great podcast. Learn a little bit about that and about all of the wonderful things that she is trying to do, and have some more uncomfortable conversations with the Beer with the Boys. So before that, I want to talk to you guys about FNX Fitness. Don't want to get too deep about it. I haven't been taking too much greens for it lately. It's been affecting my stomach. We talk about that a little bit later. Just take their stuff. Take Rebalance Greens. It's going to change your life. It's going to make you feel like $100. It's going to make you feel like $1,000 or even more, however much you want to be worth. That's what you're going to feel like. If you use code BWTB at fnxfit.com, you're going to get 15% off. The greens, the protein, the shirts, the pre-workout, whatever you need. If you want to be a fitness junkie, you got it. If you want to be a health nut, you got it. If you just want to be better, you got it. So fnxfit.com, use code BWTB, get 15% off. Now pour yourself a drink, crack open a beer, and let's go.
Beer with the boys. Beer with the boys.
Welcome to Beer with the Boys, episode 50. We'll call it an even 50 this time around. And we took a week off.
We did.
Yes, we needed to get our lives in check. I think I actually have a stomach ulcer from all the stress, so that's incredibly
From
fun
1
right
week?
now. Yeah.
1 week of stress.
I'm having a lot of problems right now. I'm in a lot of pain. It's not appendicitis, so.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And even, honestly, I wouldn't go to the doctor if it was appendicitis. Last time I had to get checked for that, the doctor shoved his finger up my ass. Not.
Well, you could die from that, so you know.
No, I understand that. But I was all of, and you guess what? I'm not going to say the name of the doctor. It might have been malpractice. I don't know. But all of a sudden, I'm all of like third grade, and I'm having these severe stomach pains, very similar to what I'm having now, actually. And like couldn't sleep, doubling over in pain. My mom was a nurse, took me to the doctor. They're like, we're going to test you for appendicitis. Apparently the test back then was sticking the finger up my ass. And
It's got to be better now.
No, I would hope so. But I'm very much scarred to go and get tested at all and for anything. And so I'm, kind of at a point. I'm gonna say it's an ulcer, or I'm just gonna flush it out. So I'm drinking a lot of water and a lot of Rebalance Greens, getting it out of my system. Use code BWTB. It can save you from appendicitis
or an ulcer, whichever one it actually happens to be.
Yeah. So, but nonetheless, took a week off. Had obviously figured out some stuff, but we're back. We're better than ever. We're on Zoom. There's no echoes on Zoom.
No. Let me tell you, if you use Skype still, you're an idiot.
Yeah. And mind you, we used Skype up until about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah. We didn't know any better.
We're new, not idiots.
So,
we're newly smart.
We are idiots, but not anymore.
Well, not anymore.
We leveled up to not idiots.
Yeah. So I mean, it's with all that said, though, we are on a non-Zoom Pro account, so this may only be 40 minutes because that's all we can.
You can extend them, though. I know you can.
I think, but you extend it by getting Pro.
No, you just click extend.
I don't know.
We'll
find out. It might be 40 minutes long of an episode. Might be a shortened happy hour for you. It's a quarantine happy hour. It
might be in two weird segments. You never know.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
It's a properly social distanced quarantine happy hour because bars can't be open the full hour or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what we'll go with.
Way to spin zone that one.
Absolutely. Thank you. See, we all have our talents, and mine is wizardry and spin zone. And sometimes they go together. And but today we have a guest.
Yeah, she's been sitting here quietly, not saying a word, which
I didn't know when it's like a proper time to be like, yes, I totally feel that. I've had to go to the doctor, and they've totally had to stick a finger up my butt to see if I had appendicitis.
It's a
No,
rough life.
it's happened to
that
everyone.
I thought it was just more about like prostate stuff. I didn't know you were like appendix.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm kind of. I'm just
Shitty-ass
banking on
doctor.
that it's not a prostate thing. It's a. I'm one of the most.
Check into the statute of limitations on that malpractice suit, man.
Well, maybe I don't know.
You
He
talk
was
to anyone about it?
about what's going on now
No,
or
about
that
your
situation.
finger butt situation. Finger
Yeah,
butt
everyone
suit.
I've talked to said like that's not the test for appendicitis, and I'm like, I don't know what the fucking test for appendicitis was in the year 2000. I don't know if the
Great. What am I
millennium gave us
supposed to
new
do?
things. Like it happened. I don't know, and that guy was my same doctor for my entire life, so I don't know. He was a good doctor. This
Was
was
he
the
cool
only,
after that?
yeah, he was cool. This was
Extra cool.
my mom was in the room. My mom was a nurse, and she was in the room with us. So my money is it was maybe they just were telling me that they were checking for appendicitis. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know, but
Cost extra for the fingers up the butt. That's why.
well,
For
maybe
real.
it was.
And bill higher for that.
No, I
Yeah,
just
you got a
don't.
discount.
Even if I wipe a little too like viciously, I get flashbacks to it. It's a rough life.
Oh God.
Yes.
So you definitely tell like Hannah, like stay away from
Oh yeah,
the
no,
butt.
no.
It is
We do
definitely an
not do
out,
butt
not
stuff.
an in.
Yeah, we definitely
Okay.
don't do butt stuff.
So she'll never get to spice up the relationship that way. Okay.
Well, no, no. At this, no, I don't know.
Just no.
I'm just
Wait, no.
I can't do it. It's scary. I don't like it, and this might be my last episode because I might die. I might have appendicitis and then be in the hospital. So
We've said that like 3 times now, so it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So.
I'm also the biggest hypochondriac I know. So every small thing is just I Google it, and right
What's
now
the
I
worst
have
thing that you can do for yourself?
yeah
Well,
right
then
now
do
I
you-
have colon cancer and appendicitis. So
I think
And an
colon cancer is a finger up the butt, I think, or colonoscopy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Oh, colonoscopies,
camera.
at least you're asleep, so you don't
Yeah.
actually feel it. But
yeah.
You know the
But-
camera was inside of you, though.
Well, yeah. I'll keep everyone updated, and if I do have a colonoscopy, we'll sell that
Live
on,
stream it,
on my
yeah.
OnlyFans.
yeah, get that.
I'll just
get
be
it
in
in.
that. We got to
Get
live
that on my
stream this.
OnlyFans account.
Yeah.
But we have a guest. Enough about my butt stuff. There's no blood, so it's okay.
That's always
We have
a
a
good
guest. We have recently new podcaster.
Episode
But what?
3 episodes in.
3, 4?
Yep, three episodes.
Three episodes in?
in. Yep.
A fellow alum of the land. Or same orientation group together. All
Jake,
three of
you
us.
were one of my first.
All
yeah,
three
you
of
both
us?
were like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like the.
What?
You
I
were the
forgot
first
about
people
that.
that I really met.
Yeah.
At Lakeland, and Kate Wallen.
Yep.
And her
She still
and her
talks
twin
to
sister
us.
was there.
And her sister
Yep.
that didn't go there but just showed up for
She had to go.
orientation.
Twins have that thing. She needed to be a part of that orientation.
Yeah, so that's fine. None of the other folk could bring a friend there. So
Right.
she could. So
I didn't really have
she
any
doesn't
friends
listen to the
bring.
show. It's fine.
Oh, Kate Wallen.
Oh man, but yes. So same orientation group, same college, all graduates,
Same here. Yep.
all podcasters. That's about it. We got. I'll let you introduce the rest of you. So we got.
Oh my gosh,
for the
Jake,
very
what
first
it is-
time.
I don't need an introduction. That was perfect.
Well, there we go.
Not even a name, just
Yeah.
we're in the same orientation
I was
group.
getting ready to that.
Yeah,
So-
it's like people that were in our
Stevie
orientation.
Menne
Like, it's
is
not
here.
me. Hello, everybody. My name is Stevie. I was blessed to be in the same orientation group as Jeremy and Jake. Yeah, Kate Wallen. It was awesome. Oh my gosh, that was
I feel
9
bad for
years
everybody
ago.
else that was in that group.
I don't even
really
remember who else was in the group.
anybody else.
We were just.
I talked to the DJ kid who wrestled.
Yeah, he left after about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I remember that guy. Yep. Yeah. So as Jake said, I'm a new podcaster, you guys definitely are part of the reason why I was like, okay, I can do this.
Oh,
Let's give it a
These
whirl.
bozos
If we
can't
can do it,
as
you
well.
can do it.
Like Jake and Jerb, but honestly, like even from college, like you guys can definitely, anybody that was around you guys knew that if anybody would have recorded you like audio or video, number one, it would have been hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Not safe for eyes, but definitely
No.
hilarious.
Well, you'd have to pay extra to
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
You
Just
can listen.
OnlyFans material for sure.
Exactly. Pay extra and have to be 18 or older.
Yes, and tip kindly when you love that stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you. Look at that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Already complimenting us on our own show. This is
We're
great.
You're
blushing.
welcome. Isn't that what people are supposed to do? Like, oh, I love
Well,
you.
yeah, but nobody does.
They're just
Oh.
like, what's up, guys?
Hey, thanks for the opportunity, man. Appreciate
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we're awesome. That's why you asked us to come on. Yeah.
it. See, for me, I'm just that. Yeah, no, not at all. I thank you very, very much, first and foremost, for inviting me onto your podcast. Definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, anytime. You're now a reoccurring guest, so you'll be on again.
Well, you're now a guest.
Now you're a guest.
When you're on next week, you can be a reoccurring guest.
All right.
And then
just
who
working my
knows? You
way
might
up.
just be one of the co-hosts after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I don't mind being a boy for a while. I'll take
Well, it's
that
beer
on.
with the boys, so
Yeah.
you're having a beer or
Yeah, we're the boys.
red wine.
We're doing some Pinot tonight for you
Pinot.
guys.
Wow.
Pinot.
I thought Pinot was white wine.
Well, there's Pinot Noir and Pinot Grigio, so it's Pinot Noir, so it's red. But you are
Out of the
right.
mason jar.
Yeah.
Nice.
See,
Yeah.
I'm a wine guy now.
There you go.
I'm getting it together.
Yeah, I got some class in you.
Well, yeah.
She tried.
Not through my butt though. Didn't go.
No butt chugs.
I was mid-drink and almost lost that.
All right, let's get to some content here. So, Stevie, we always start happy hour with what we call the shotgun start. Are you aware of the shotgun start?
I've heard of it a couple times, but run me through.
Okay, so what it is? So since we have a guest on today, you do the shotgun start. We ask you the questions, you give the answers. We don't give answers because our answers get boring after a little bit. You know what am I drinking? Pepto-Bismol. That's what I'm drinking.
Drinking water.
So we ask you 5 questions.
Okay.
It's pretty much kind of first thing that comes to mind. 5 questions about things that you are trying to keep you learning new things across the way. So 5 things that you are doing, and keeping it interesting. What do you encourage other people to try? And this is where you can name drop things or people. And this is where you can name drop companies. This is where you can get all your sponsorship out of there. And be good to go.
Get that money.
Exactly. We need to make money somehow doing this. So the first question of the shotgun start is number 1. What are you drinking?
I am drinking Pinot Noir. It is also from the Three Lakes Winery, which is local to my area. I think you can find them on Facebook. They make delicious wines. So Three Lakes Winery.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Something weird happened. So, drinking Pinot. What are you eating? Well, not right now, but something new you've tried, maybe.
So, my boyfriend and I are slowly trying to switch. Well, he's a vegetarian. I'm kind of trying to switch to like pescatarian and vegetarian. So I've been super obsessed with Beyond Meat lately.
Oh.
If you guys haven't tried it, it literally tastes just like beef. It's delicious. It's gluten-free, soy-free, veggie. It's delicious.
I might have to switch to gluten-free or something. Maybe that's what's bothering me.
Yeah.
Like I developed a gluten allergy. This is bullshit.
Hey, when we were during our freshman year of school, I got mono and bronchitis at the same time.
Jesus Christ.
Lovely. And after it happened, I got
Better or worse than COVID?
I don't know. I haven't had COVID yet. So
Well, we got a test.
Brutal. I did just get tested. It was negative. So thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah. But so Beyond Meat, it's delicious.
Beyond
and if
Meat.
you don't feel like making it, go to Hardee's and ask for a Beyond Meat burger.
You just get that at your local grocery store?
Yep, more so. Probably have to go like to a health food store to find it.
Like the Outpost, huh?
So
Yeah.
not like a Walmart.
I've tried to find it at Walmart. I've never found the actual Beyond Meat brand there. But I live in a very rural area, so it might be more popular like down in the city to have.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair.
That's fair. What are you now? This next question is mostly video games. I don't know if you're a gamer, but it extends beyond that. But what are you playing?
I've been watching people play Apex Legends lately. I don't play it, but I think it's kind of interesting, and the graphics from like Call of Duty Black Ops to like how Apex Legends is insane.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool to just sit down and watch.
Yeah, that's an excellent game. Big esports game that will be at the land as a competitive game this fall.
Yes.
That is so sick.
Yeah.
That they added that to school.
Hell yeah. It's awesome. It's really come along.
Be cool.
For real.
Oh, my turn. What are you watching? There we go.
Currently I am watching the last season of Silicon Valley on HBO. Really good show. Really, really good show. It's all about the tech industry and, Silicon Valley as a whole and venture capitalists, and very, very, very funny show.
Yes, that's with the I can't think of his name.
TJ Miller.
Sure.
From Deadpool, Deadpool's best friend.
I guess, yeah, he's also in there. Yeah, I was thinking of the guy who plays Dwight's brother in The Office. Yes. He's also
what?
But
Mose?
No, not Mose. Mose is his cousin.
What is it, Thomas Middleditch?
Yeah, him. He's the one when his aunt dies. He comes back.
Oh. Yeah.
TJ Miller, though, yeah, he got me on that one. He's funny. Yep. He's problematic, but he's funny.
Yes.
And last question here. What are you listening to?
I'm actually listening to a lot. Is a Lakeland artist, and his name is Dewan Darling, and he goes by M3P. Mo was his nickname the majority of the time. And his music is, I love it. It has a lot of great meaning to it. And he recently put out a single called Rest in Peace, George Floyd. And I just liked his take on it. And then the message, obviously, behind it. So, yeah.
He's a M3P. Current student, right? Or he just graduated? He
graduated, it was either 2017 or 2018.
That makes me feel old.
Yeah. I know.
Because I think he came in when I started working there. Huh. Is that on Spotify?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, everything.
Hell yeah.
YouTube and stuff. He also is a shoe designer now too.
Seen those.
And
big things.
Oh, they're sick. So
are they comfy? Because I know you got your pair.
Yes, I did. They're in my closet here right now. Super comfortable. I'm not really like a big sneaker junkie by any means, but I think they're amazing quality. They're handmade in Italy, and very comfortable sole and everything. So
nice.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good deal. Well, there was your shotgun start. 5 quick questions, 5 things we're trying, 5 things to make the fans, all 5 of them, listen to. Nice.
All in 5s.
I was really nervous that it was going to be like you have to shotgun something.
No.
Well, that's how you finish the shotgun start. Yeah, you finish whatever drink you have.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. Or unless you want to do it.
It's not college anymore. My bad.
We're responsible on this podcast,
Oh, yes. Always drink responsibly. Yes.
Yes, very much so. So usually when we have a guest on, then we keep it more of an interview here. So we got to get to know you. We got to understand.
Oh,
Get me.
Yes. Are you good over there?
Yes. You're asking me. I didn't do anything.
Well, I'm also asking you what's going on.
I'm good.
Okay, because all of a sudden you looked at your screen and you said like, "Oh shit."
Oh no, I was reading. I typed some stuff down.
Okay, cool. Well, why don't you kick it off then? Why don't you ask some questions here to our dear Stevie?
All right. So I don't think you've gotten the chance to really actually introduce your podcast.
Yes.
So I'll give you the chance to do that, kind of give us the down low, and kind of just tell us a little bit more about it before we dive into that maybe a little bit.
Okay, thank you. God, you guys are so sweet. So I started my podcast almost a month ago. It is called the Essential Uncomfortable Podcast. And I really started it just, number one, it was obviously because of the tragic passing of George Floyd and everything. And, then seeing some racist comments from people at Lakeland. And I was just, in my head, and I was getting really angry. And I'm like, I have no right to be angry. So how can I use, that to make a difference somewhere? So I thought about specifically just having a podcast about people that went to Lakeland, the experiences from people, especially people of color. And then it just kind of spiraled now into having uncomfortable conversations about race, because I strongly believe that a lot of people don't want to have conversations because they don't want to be uncomfortable. And I think it's pertinent to be uncomfortable to continue to grow as a person and to, learn from other people's experiences. But I also want to start a second season down the line where I branch out into any kind of uncomfortable conversation, whatever it might be. So that is what I do. You can find it on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
You just took like 5 of my questions away with that one answer. So
Oh, sorry.
no, you're fine. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
So I was
bad.
gonna ask what can we expect, but you already touched on that.
Yeah.
So what kind of other topics? I mean, it might be way early in the planning stages, but what kind of topics are you thinking about?
You guys know this about me as I sit here with this chest in front of me. I've always been, no matter what I wear, because I have a big chest, I've always been sexualized. And, people say like, oh, you look slutty if I wear like a decent cut shirt. And like, if somebody else would wear it with like a smaller chest, obviously it would look, modest. So I want to talk about like sexualizing bodies off the bat, you know, LGBTQIA relationships, moving back in with your parents after college,
That's a good one.
because I did it. So it's just kind of, anything that seems like it would be an uncomfortable conversation to have. I think it's time to normalize things like that. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for.
I like that. I can dig that.
Yeah, I think that's you just covering a couple things that you've said now. Obviously, one, just having uncomfortable conversations in general, whether it's about the situations that are happening right now with racial injustice and such. And I know you mentioned, a couple people, I think formerly at Lakeland now.
Yes.
And I think that's a big thing to mention, that we've had, and as an employee there now, we've had a lot of uncomfortable conversations there. And
Yeah.
and a lot of times, if someone is or was doing something that maybe they didn't know was racist, and we've talked about this on our podcast before, a lot of it is just uneducated, and
Yeah.
there comes a point where being uneducated is no longer an excuse. Actively try to do that, but we've had a lot of that, as much as we could in a virtual standpoint, meetings with the students, meeting with students of all color, and figuring out how can we best address this as a community, because I think Lakeland is, maybe it's my bias because I work there, of course, and an alumni, but a good place to that grows with their students. If the students want there to be growth there, there's going to be growth there.
Well,
I think they're good listeners at times, for
yes,
sure.
absolutely. And it's always growing, but I think, using that as a topic of a podcast in general, fast forward season 2, season 3, whatever, just continuing to be more uncomfortable things. That's the only way that the world's going to grow. And how we're going to grow is if we have these uncomfortable conversations before it becomes an issue, a bigger issue than what it is.
Yes. Before it becomes fear.
Yes. Let's talk about it. Let's understand things. So I absolutely love that. So well done. Good idea.
Thank you.
Keep
Thank
it
you
up.
so much.
definitely appreciated the first 2 episodes. Haven't gotten to the third one yet, but it's on my
Take
list
your
of
time.
things.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, no, it's kind of cool to hear like different stories and different perspectives, because especially us three white people, we don't have that perspective that that our counterparts that went to Lakeland share. So it's kind of really cool to kind of take a deeper dive into that and really discuss it and break it down, even when it is uncomfortable, because that, again, it's when it's necessary to kind of make that growth. And no, I've really appreciated it. And I mean, even for myself, I'm sure all three of us can kind of attest to this, is growing up where we did, maybe didn't have the same experiences, and maybe we had some parental influence or other family members that kind of were closed-minded about things. And until you get out in the world and learn and see these things on your own, you really don't take the time to understand it and challenge your own points of view. So
and sometimes you just don't see it too, which is, if it doesn't affect you in your area of where you live, like you kind of just don't see it unless you're, following people of color in social media or following the news. So
just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yes.
Right.
That is coming to fruition here in Port Washington for sure.
Absolutely.
So touch on that for me, because I guess I'm behind on that.
So here in Port Washington, for those listeners who aren't familiar with the area, it's a small, very predominantly white town here in Wisconsin. We've had now three, but so there was one march or a protest that actually me and my girlfriend actually took part in, which was really cool to see the small town kind of rally around that. And that one went really well. There was really, of course, we had a few bad apples around town saying things to us. But the second one, they had another one just recently, and I don't know what you want to call them. I'm not sure what the correct term for them is, but it was like 3 or 4 white males showed up with assault rifles to kind of intimidate or maybe put fear into, because it's a lot of young people protesting around here for obvious reasons. And they kind of just hung out during the protest and during some of the speakers and acted inappropriately, kind of laughing or making jokes of things, which just isn't right. And just yesterday, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with who Frank Nitti is. He's a very big activist in Milwaukee. He kind of heads a lot of the Black Lives Matter movement stuff down there. He actually came up yesterday and they protested again. And it seemed like it went really well. They had a lot of support from the police. But there's just a couple things that happened towards the end of it. Someone was called the N-word behind a building where no one could see it. And when they went to go find the person, the guy was already gone, driving away in his car, or hopped in a truck and they drove off. So yeah, there's a lot of racial tension in small town Port Washington, but I think the majority of the people are on the right side of things. And I'm hoping that support continues so things can really change, because there are people of color. Oh, that was our 40-minute warning. There are people of color
this
here.
This meeting now has unlimited minutes, it just told me.
All right, cool.
Wait.
Nice. So yeah, there are people of color that do live here. And just so we like to make sure they have the same support, and really, hopefully things keep going and kind of things don't stop out here in small town Port Washington. But yeah, that's what's going on. And it's really cool to see the support from Milwaukee and other cities coming down too. So yeah, that's the Port Washington really awesome update, but, if you will. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been trying to see if there's updates because I wanted to kind of get out there as well, but I haven't seen anything. So hopefully something comes up. But yeah. I guess my next question, how do you like podcasting so far?
You guys both know that I love to talk. So I truly do love it, and especially with what I'm doing. And I think really any podcaster would get this, but it's just like a constant learning experience. And I truly feel fulfilled after I'm done interviewing people and hearing their stories, or even I've had a couple of interviews with people that didn't want to be on the record, but regardless, I gained, a really good understanding and a knowledge and another level of like empathy and understanding with them. So I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm really glad that I finally decided to take the leap to do it. So it's been really great so far.
Yeah, it's an interesting opportunity.
Very big learning curve, as you can tell.
Yes.
Not using Skype anymore.
Yeah. So
Zoom is freaking great.
Zoom is much better here.
Yeah.
This is the thing. So you've had 3 episodes now, 2 guests. It's still early on, but what's been the biggest thing that you've learned? Kind of a 2-part question. What's the biggest thing that you've learned based on the topic of your podcast that you've been able to take away? And then what's the biggest thing that you've learned really about yourself through just a couple of doing this, going through the process and putting something out on audio?
Great questions. Those are some great questions.
We've done this before.
Just a touch. I think like the biggest learning thing has been, or something that like I didn't put into practice prior or during, was, I went, I think we all did, didn't we? Or maybe were you sports science or sports education or something?
Oh, I was biology, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not, yeah. So.
I'm sorry for.
No, you're fine.
Oh, geez. Well, Jake, you were marketing a business with me in college, right?
Yeah, business and economics in particular.
Bless your soul. So I was a big marketer, and I graduated with a marketing degree. So I just kind of didn't incorporate so much marketing and sitting down and like creating an actual marketing plan for like, promotion and stuff like that. So I think that's been, a big learning thing when to post, when ideal times are. And I've also learned that people are very open to telling you their story if you come to them with, a kind ear and a genuine feeling that you want to learn and, try to make this world better. So I think, because I didn't expect so many people to want to have uncomfortable conversations. So I love that. And through doing all of this, I realized that I just love learning. And it's probably one of the most relaxing things that I can do, is just kind of learn every day and take in a lot of knowledge to hopefully make a better place.
Yeah. And that's so ironic that an uncomfortable conversation, it can be one of the most relaxing things for you. Like, hell yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable when you're doing it, and in some way, shape, or form, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to learn some things about yourself and about others that you might not like all that much. But afterwards, it's like such a weight off your shoulders that hell yeah, I know this now, and I understand now, and I know this moving forward. And while the last 20 some odd years of my life, I might have hurt some people here and there, it's not going to happen again. And it's it's quite the relieving thing. So people, go have fucking uncomfortable conversations. Go get them done.
About anything.
Yeah, anything about race, about sexuality, about women. I don't know.
Think one that I think a lot of guys don't have, or even females, athletes regardless, especially you two, you were college, high school to college athletes. When was there a point in your life that you realized wrestling, your biggest passion, wasn't going to get you to like the professional level or like to the Olympic level? And like, if you grew up having that dream, like I would assume that would be really hard to like let go of it at a certain point. And I don't feel like a lot of people talk about that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I realized it pretty soon that I'm not an Olympic caliber wrestler, which is totally fine.
Right.
But I think I just had, like, I guess my parents were kind of brutally honest about that stuff, which I guess doesn't hurt, but in the time I was like, oh, you're really saying that? Okay. But But yeah, it like wrestling in college kind of came down to, do I actually want to wrestle or do I want to be someone's practice partner for 4 years? So like realizing that kind of gives you the perspective to maybe not pursue Division 1 or Division 2 and kind of go that Division 3 route where you can like actually feel like you have the potential to grow and really kind of
Yeah.
hit your stride. And I don't know if I ever really realized it, because I guess when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a professional soccer player. But I
Oh,
kind
okay.
of learned that early on, that it's not super possible because there's only a small percentage of this population that goes on it. You know how that goes. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that is something, especially when student athletes are younger, kind of more harping that education side of things rather than shooting for pro. Because if you like, there's got to be a certain age you realize, oh, I'm pro potential, or yeah, this might not be the route for me. So, um, yeah, I don't know if that answered your question. I feel like I just
Yeah,
went
it
on
did. Like
that.
from your perspective, for sure.
Yeah.
But like what am I thinking of? Like Mike Esiobu went to go on to try
Mhm.
out for the 49ers team
Right.
and, didn't get drafted or whatever the story may be. I have no idea what the, full story is. But in those senses, like if I grew up wanting to be a journalist. So I guess I finally got here, but that's
There
not
you
like a
go.
super unattainable dream. Like,
Hmm.
or being part of the NBA or the NHL or the NFL and stuff. So I think that would be a good conversation for people that have had the
Oh,
dream to
for
go
sure.
pro their whole life. Like if you realize that you can't do it, like you probably should have that conversation, because I feel like that might leave you feeling like you never accomplished it or accomplished something in your life. So just unpacking it, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I played soccer, I wrestled. I think I realized early on that it wasn't going to happen for me because I didn't want it to happen for me. I was
Okay.
strangely never the type of person that, or athlete that, like, I'm going to make it to the Olympics one day, or I'm going to be in the MLS or in the NFL or whatnot. I was
Mhm.
freaking 4 foot going into high school. I wasn't going to be doing anything athletic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was very good at school. That was kind of always my thing. And so I knew that I could be successful in some way. So my biggest thing was I wanted to work in sports and then be able to. And now you literally brought this up, and now I'm thinking about it. Like, I always wanted to work in sports. I wanted to be kind of the top dog, a GM of some sports team,
Yeah.
and got a job working for the Bucks right out of college, and realized maybe a couple months into it that is definitely not the industry that I wanted to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And I, was good at what I was doing, and worked hard to get there. But then it was just like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. And it was a pretty uncomfortable thought of realizing,
Did I
like,
fail my dream?
yeah.
That's
And like, this
another
is
one
what
too.
I've wanted to do. Like, this is what I went to school for. And now,
Yeah.
like, there'll even be some nights where I just can't fall asleep because I'm thinking, like, holy shit, if I would have just done that one different thing, or stuck to that major instead of the 8 other ones that I switched to, or whatever else. Like, if I would have, like, actually, you know, studied for the ACT and tried to get a little bit better to
Yeah.
go to a better school, or what, I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm very happy with where my life has turned out. I'm happy with where I'm at now, and I'm happy with the trajectory of which I'm going now. But it's like, how much time did I waste doing this other stuff to get to a spot that I realized I didn't want to be in? And what
Mhm.
could I have done with all that time is kind of a weird thought of
Yeah.
what the hell. And it's all still led me to where I'm at, but definitely not something I've thought of until right now. So
Yeah.
well done. You're going to have a good podcast. You're going to be all
Oh,
right.
thank you.
Making us uncomfortable on our own
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'm
always
just
who I've been, is just like wanting, if I've ever had a question for like either of you, I've just gone up and asked you the question,
Yeah.
or anybody. That's just, I guess, who I've always been. And not like people need to be like me by any means, because I have my own faults, and, I've done a lot of growing since college and stuff. But, if you would have told me, like 9 years ago during our orientation that 9 years later we would be sitting here on your guys' podcast, I'd be like, no way, what's a podcast?
I don't even think they were a thing back then.
No, I think Joe Rogan was around, and that was about it.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool though.
Damn.
That's cool.
What other questions do you have? Now the wheels are turning here. What?
Like, I guess another question is, Jake, you're an only child like me, right?
Yes.
Germ, do you have a brother, right?
I have a younger brother, right?
Yeah. So I guess for you, this question's for you, Jake. Since we're only children, do you think was that part of your reasoning for joining a fraternity? Because you wanted that family aspect to your life and like you wanted brothers finally?
No. I don't think so for me.
Okay.
Mine's a little
Out of
different
left
though.
field.
Like I
Yeah.
didn't, looking back, I'm very thankful for it all. And again, it's one of those situations that kind of just happened, and
Yeah.
I'm happy with how it turned out. But I didn't do any of the rush week stuff. I didn't. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even realize that there were fraternities and sororities on campus, and all
I
of a
think
sudden,
I asked you to go to a rush event and you go, why would I do that?
maybe. And like I don't like I had no I thought about I wanted to do it. Like I saw it in movies and stuff, and I'm like, that'd be cool, but it's really not a big deal. My roommate wasn't doing it or anything, and that was obviously a big thing. We were sticking together. We went to college together for that for that matter, so we were doing a lot of the same stuff. And
oh my
literally
gosh.
literally the day before what we called interview night, I got a text from the guy that would end up being my big brother in it, saying, hey, you wanna pledge? And I'm like, sure, why not? And he's like, yeah,
sounds fun.
Come over to the suites at this time. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I came and I got there and met 15 other guys in the room. I'm like, yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
That's actually where we started to become friends.
Yeah. It was
Jake
the laundry room.
We didn't like each other at orientation.
Yeah.
Why? Because you guys were like similar but different.
I think that's the reason.
Yeah.
Too many similarities.
You're from Illinois, right?
Right.
Okay, and no offense, but like when it comes to Wisconsin people and Illinois people, there's always that innate bias, like, oh, you're a fucking
we gotta work towards liking all people from Illinois. We automatically don't like you, so
like you don't get respect right away, which I'm sorry, but like you just don't.
Well, it's official. I'm a Wisconsinite.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm a Wisconsin resident.
So that probably was Jake's little bias against
my
you.
dark past.
Yes, absolutely.
But didn't you two bond over? Okay. Didn't you two bond over like your favorite movie or something during orientation?
I think that's when we found out we both loved The Lion King, and we watched it on repeat throughout our lives. It's like,
I think that was it or something. Okay.
I don't.
Sorry, I just had a flashback there. We were in a room. Yep, all the way in lawn. Yep, and we were doing like some
doing icebreakers.
Yeah.
I don't know how you remember that.
I don't either. I don't either.
Well, Jerry, you don't remember something that happened last week.
Yeah. I don't. Only if it's important.
Yeah. Oh. You have any other questions, Jeremy?
Yeah, actually. So I don't know. I guess I'll just go for it. Have you become more aware of social justice issues since starting your podcast, or have you been kind of more aware of this? Or when did you really become aware of the social justice issues? And
when was your defining moment?
Yeah.
I really think, I mean, I could be wrong, but I really think it was in college, because where I'm from, the demographics of my area and my county are like, I do believe it's like 85% white, 20%, no, not 20%, because I wouldn't, anyway, it's a majority of white people, and then there's Native people. So, I mean, I always saw social injustices with them, and like the innate biases that the white people in our area had. But I think when I really figured out that it wasn't just Native people was when I went to college, and became friends with Dan, Juan, Bree Williams, and just finally was able to have friends of like, different color and stuff. So I think it was definitely college when I became woke, I suppose.
Stay woke.
When I woke up.
Yeah.
Because like we were talking about earlier, it's just not something, in my area that we saw much of. So not that I didn't believe it was happening, I just didn't realize that it was happening. I mean, obviously in movies, I guess I knew about it, like Save the Last Dance was one of my favorite movies growing up, and there's a lot of shut up. There's a lot of like
It's a great movie.
good stuff in it, and like Step Up and just more I don't know, colorful movies and stuff, but yeah.
No, I 100%. I mean, we come from different but similar areas. I mean, I grew up in Port Washington, which we were just talking about, and where, like, again, it goes back to what I said earlier. Just because you're not seeing something doesn't mean it's not happening. Definitely wasn't seeing anything, and nor at the same time not really going out and looking for it either. But
Right.
I grew up in a place where I didn't even have internet growing up. I didn't have social media. I didn't know anything until college, and all of a sudden you get there and you start experiencing these things and realizing that things are so different, and we could very well have stayed in our community and never never left and never have realized anything different and be the same people, and no ill intent, but uneducated
Blind to it, yeah.
and blind, and but we didn't, and we experienced or saw and met people and had those uncomfortable conversations. And like one of my favorite movies was Remember the Titans.
Perfect.
Like great film, but you don't really realize what it actually meant until now, and how prominent those issues still are. And you're just like, I'm just watching it like, this is a badass football movie.
Yeah, because we just think about like the movie aspect, not like the reality of the actual story.
Yes, you're thinking it's a movie and that happened in the 60s or 70s. That's not a thing anymore. Like, cool, that happened. No, that's still very much happening in a sense.
Yeah, I just didn't know how ugly people could get based on like the melanin content of somebody's skin. So
yeah,
I just didn't think it was a thing.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I find myself getting way too deep into Facebook comments and getting myself too worked up. I'm like, I gotta stop. It's just, same. I don't get it. Don't get it at all.
Because now it's like once you, and I don't mean to like use this like funnily, but I don't know another way to say it. But like once you wake up and realize those types of things, it's almost like this is my personal thought and experience. Like once you realize those things, you're like, I can help you realize that Black people are people. They're not animals. They're not all a danger to society. They're not mean. They don't all look the same. Like I can help you. But people like that tend to not want to. And the places that we grew up in like are kind of like, in the Simpsons movie when they get the bubble.
Yes.
Well, just imagine that's just kind of like that, just like living in a bubble, and all you see is what's in your bubble, and that's it. So,
I think that was the worst when you go back home and you challenge your parents on something from college. You're like, oh, Mr. College educated boy thinks he knows something. Like,
Mr. Smart guy.
Seriously? I mean, like, I think that's when it started for me as well. But what really, really kind of like opened the floodgates is when I did 2 terms of service with College Possible, which is a nonprofit in Milwaukee that helps low-income, first-generation, like underrepresented students get into college and all that. And I mean, they were really big on like diversity training and like educating all of us on like the struggles of being a person of color in big cities and how you're just at such a disadvantage from the start. And like going home and being able to challenge my parents on that, they just didn't like it. It's like the bubble again. They're stuck in that bubble, and those thoughts aren't going to change no matter how hard I try. I mean, maybe once in a while you win a few battles, but
you got to accept the change. And it's like anything else, you have to accept the idea that there is room to grow here, and you don't necessarily know it all. And those people that make ignorant comments on social media or make ignorant comments in person, they're people that they're stuck in their ways. They don't want to change. They don't want to see it aside that they don't understand, or that they have been brought up saying because their dad taught them something, and that's 100% correct. That's just how it is. And it's, you know, that's the problem. The people that want to grow and are okay with growing and are okay with being uncomfortable, and that, you know, were raised on not getting participation trophies and whatnot, and those people that want to improve and want to better themselves, those are the people that are going to get better. And some might take longer than other. Yeah, it's going to definitely take longer for some, but for some people, unfortunately, it's kind of just a lost cause. If you don't want to change or don't want to see things differently, you're not going to, no matter how false your information is and how true ours is, or whatever.
That's the thing that makes me the most upset about it, is when you're sitting there and reading these comments about like just how ignorant these comments are. It's like, you don't realize how wrong they are and what they're saying. And like the right side of things is the side that's making the changes and changing your ways. And the changes that are happening are barely going to affect these people's lives. Like in the long run, like nothing is going to affect your way of life. Like you're still going to live in your nice neighborhood and all this stuff. Like nothing's going to change for you, but it's going to change for a lot of people that really need the change. And
why is that bad?
I don't know. There's just some disconnect, and I don't know if it's generational or location or whatever it is, but there's some disconnect in seeing like, oh, helping other people is good, and changes to help other people are good too. But no, I don't want to wear a mask, and Black Lives Matters is dumb. Like, why do people think that way? I don't get it. And
that Black Lives Matter is dumb because it doesn't better me. It doesn't help me. And it's always just, you know, it's so selfish. It's like, and maybe they had a bad experience in their life with one person of color or something, but that's not the norm. That's not it. And it's just because something doesn't benefit you doesn't mean that it's not a good thing.
Well, I think in the end it will benefit them, because that's giving.
Well, that's making them think too hard. That's making them think too hard.
Better in general.
Yeah, as soon as you put when you say Black Lives Matter, some white people automatically disconnect because they don't think that it applies to them. And it's like, well, what about my life? Well, Karen, your life has mattered for your entire life. Just chill out and sit down for 2 seconds. We're not talking about you.
Enjoy your white wine, Karen. Okay.
Exactly. You know, and it's just like somebody saying, you know, going to a breast cancer rally and saying, well, what about lung cancer? Or,
it's the same concept.
Yeah, it's just like,
fighting.
Yeah, we care. I know, but this is a breast cancer rally. Well, what about prostate? We get it, Karen. Cancers matter. We get it. That's not the point, though.
Karen.
Just got a bunch of idiots out there.
Yeah. But, you know, having these conversations just openly like that as 3 white people, you know, knowing that those types of behaviors is wrong is hopefully going to make some people see that as well. You know, it's not about politics. It's not about being a Democrat. It's not about being a Republican. It's not about any of that. This is about innocent lives that are lost to the hands of police brutality and racist people, you know. So that's what we're talking about. We're not talking that their lives are of more value than other people's lives. Everybody's lives mean the same if people will allow them to.
I mean, that's kind of I guess, I don't know if it was our intentions out right away, but I mean, guessing from us too and our usual content, our demographic of listeners is probably predominantly white. And might not see the things the way we do, but hoping that maybe if we talk about these things once in a while, that it'll spark that thought in their brain and be like, oh, they were talking about this documentary called The 19th on Netflix. Maybe I'll go watch it. Or maybe I'll tune into a podcast where they're talking about something that I normally wouldn't listen to and kind of start that. So if it does work, that's great.
If one more
And it's like,
person's less racist, we're doing
Yeah.
something right.
That's a win, right?
and we can help only so much. I mean, we're not the freaking gospel here. We should not be your only education to the fans listening.
No.
Don't just listen to us. Like,
Mm-mm.
use us as that motivation to have that
Yes.
conversation with your Black friend or your Hispanic
Yes.
friend, or call your grandma out on for saying something wrong at Thanksgiving or something.
Tell her
Use
what a
this-
Brazil nut is.
Yes.
Okay, and tell her to call it a Brazil nut.
Yes.
It's a big one.
Oh, jeez. It's this. We use us as motivation
Mm-hmm.
to have those conversations. We're sure as hell having those conversations,
Yep.
and
Having them all the
want to
time.
be. So it's, don't
Yeah,
just take all
there's
your
many
information from
resources.
us. Go have a conversation with somebody. Have
Mhm.
an uncomfortable conversation. So
Yeah.
we got just a few minutes left here. You have any other questions there, Jeremy, on your list?
No, I think I covered mine.
Beautiful. So Stevie, we're going to turn the conversation over to you. The interview over to you.
All right.
We've
all
had
right.
it's been an awesome conversation. It's
Yes.
awesome throwing in some more voice in during these conversations,
Mhm.
rather than just Jeremy and I going back and forth and saying
You've been
the
doing it for 9
saying the same
years.
stuff and learning from each other. But it's always good to
Yeah.
learn from someone else as well.
Definitely.
So what questions do you have for us as we close out the show?
You know,
Anything.
Yes.
No limits.
About anything at all. Nothing is off limits here.
well, I would really like to know what you both are watching right now.
Okay.
That's a good question.
My big thing right now, I just watched Dave.
Oh yes, I
Yep.
love Dave.
Is it good?
It's
It's
hilarious.
really good. The first episode was
Okay.
like, I don't say, because I like Lil Dicky. I think
Mhm.
I think he's great. I
Yes.
think he's just a naturally funny individual.
Mhm.
And so I watched the first episode. I'm like, yeah, that was all right. And then watched the rest of it. Damn good show. I'm hooked. I'm ready for season
Okay.
2. So I just finished that. Really, really, really good show. And it's a sitcom that actually has a storyline
Yeah.
based off it, not just something new each time, like some sitcoms are. So that's been the big one that I've watched, and then a lot of diners, drive-ins, and dives. Guy Fieri.
Good stuff. Yeah. Flavor Town.
Oh, hell yeah! I want to go to the Flavortown grocery store. I just want to see what's in there.
So one that I think I watched, it wasn't it was a little bit, not like right now, but it's called Rapture on
Mhm.
no, not Rapture. Oh my goodness. It's a song about, it's like American Idol but for rappers. I
Yeah.
cannot remember
With Cardi B.
Yeah, with T.I., Chance, and Cardi. That show-
Rapland? No.
I don't know, I can't think of
I
it.
think you might be right with Rapture, but I don't remember.
That's the one about the rappers' stories. That's also a cool one.
Oh, that's a great one.
2 Chainz and his little dog. I forgot what he called him. His little pug.
He had his French bulldog named
Trappy. Little
Trappy.
Trappy. Yes. But no, yeah.
Rhythm and Flow.
Yes, Rhythm
Yes.
and Flow.
Good
that
job,
one is
Jake.
awesome.
Thank you.
Super cool to see some of these guys' stories.
Mhm.
So that show is super awesome. And I love Chance. Like, let me tell you, Chance is probably one of the coolest
Chance is
people.
awesome.
Like that guy.
Yeah.
Like because they go to their home cities and like have tryouts there for like local rappers in their cities. And like he was so like happy and just enjoying life when he was in Chicago listening to these like
Mhm.
young rappers. And it was just super cool. And then we've been on a survival show binge here.
Hell
So
yeah.
so Naked and Afraid has been
Hell
on the
yeah.
TV a lot. And then there was one that my girlfriend started watching that I kind of got into because these people are very strange. It's called Welcome to Plathville.
Oh my gosh. I have seen, like, I've heard people talk about Welcome to Plathville, and
It's some sort of strange. Like the family's super conservative and one of the sons married a very liberal girl, and they're worried that she's going to come in and influence their children and like change their thoughts. It's like, this is like ridiculous right now. It's a very interesting show. So if you're bored and want to see like small town Georgia white people
cult shit.
cult drama, this is the show for you.
Okay.
It's fascinating.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Are you guys reading anything right now?
I'm too lazy to read right now.
I hear you, Germ. I hear you.
I've been wanting to.
I am reading a book. It's called Sovereignty.
I've heard that's a good book.
It's kind of like a self-help book in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's written by Ryan Mickler, and he is the guy who has created what's called the Order of Man movement. And he's a podcast for that and things like that. So now one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. Let me also stand by saying he has a very conservative, very Christian views. And it's interesting hearing his side of things. He grew up in a Mormon family out in Utah, and has grown, gone through quite a bunch of stuff, and has a lot of views that I don't necessarily agree with. A lot of them that I do, and his kind of stance is that, or his purpose of this whole movement that he's kind of put together, and his podcast and such, is that like toxic masculinity. Yes, there is a bad part of masculinity, a very bad part of it, but masculinity itself is not bad. It's important to remember what it means to be a man, and to do certain things, and to do it right. And it's stuff that I absolutely am enthralled by. I love it. And it's the book that he wrote.
You can't celebrate feminism and just completely negate all masculinity.
They are, my feelings are, I mean, they're two different things. They're two very important things and equally important things. And it's okay to be a man, and it's okay to be a woman. And yes, they can come together in senses, but the problem is we're making, for so long, masculinity has been a bad thing. And his stuff, he has a really great podcast. He brings on guests and such, and kind of talks about his story. And that's the book that he wrote to kind of jumpstart everything and get the wheels turning on, setting goals and whatnot, and using the positive side of that stuff in a good way to help grow yourself and grow your community. And it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Again, if anybody listens to it, I don't stand by all those beliefs all the time. There's stuff it's a little questionable right there, but overall, and really it's more or less the like just conservative beliefs, like on abortion and whatnot, and gay marriage and such, and yeah, I'm libertarian. I've said this time and time again. Power to the people. Fuck the government.
Fuck yeah. Oh. I'll agree with you on that one. I'm just that type of person also when it comes to like the parties. Like I just would prefer to be behind somebody with like the same sets of like, the platform they're running on, what do you call that? Their agenda?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
That's
what it is. Political agenda.
Political agenda.
That's what it is.
I'd rather go off of something like that than Democrat or Republican who switched, meanings like 40 years ago or 50 years ago or 60 years ago or something
and Trump's a Republican, but doesn't have a lot of Republican views. And it's just
so I think it's just important nonsense to look at the entire picture of a candidate and go off of like what they want to bring to the table.
Yeah, like you can vote Republican one year and Democrat the next. That's totally okay.
Yeah, and I don't think that you should have to stick to one. I don't think that is necessary or anything. Yes,
it should be based on what the country needs at that time, not what you need, what the country needs at that time.
Exactly.
God, there's a bunch of fucking idiots out there.
We the people, not you, bitch. Sorry.
we don't swear on this podcast.
Oh, sorry guys.
Now I have to go and bleep like a bunch of swear words out.
No, you should have really said that to begin with.
Can swear.
I've said fuck like 8 times in this.
Thank God. I'm like, oh shit, that sucks for editing.
We don't edit.
I try not to either.
Very little. Yep. We just go with.
If you're comfortable, you're comfortable. Yep, yes. I like that. Easy.
Unedited, raw, uncut.
Unfiltered.
Yes.
Love it. Love it.
Yes. Any final questions? Final remarks?
Thank you guys so much for allowing me to come on here, share my perspective, my story, and allowing me to plug my fucking podcast. I sincerely appreciate
Hell
that.
yeah.
You might
you
get
might-
like 5 more listeners.
Well, we have 5, so
Thanks.
you might get 3 of them.
yeah.
Yeah, well, and I would love to have some uncomfortable conversations with you two on
Oh,
something that
yes.
you would like to talk about. If
Yeah.
you wanted to pick the topic, that would be awesome.
Well,
'Cause-
Let
Jesus.
us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Do you
I
want
think
to
that'd be
tag
awesome.
team or you want us separately? I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of would like a tag team just because I
All
love you
right.
two together. You guys, your chemistry is
Yeah.
amazing, so it just works.
Could definitely make that work.
Yeah. So thank you guys very much, and to everybody
Yes.
listening, don't stop listening to these two because it's pretty awesome. what
One
they're
day
doing.
when we're famous, you'll all thank us. Maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
and be
know.
like, oh, I remember the old days when they were uncut, unfiltered, and now
Oh, it's
they have
still gonna be
background
uncut.
music.
Now
and
they have a producer and they're editing.
Oh
and
my gosh, what is going on?
The day that I
They
don't have to do
mics.
that.
Yeah, these high quality mics. So yeah, no, thank you guys so much. It was an honor and to be on here, and it was a great time to talk to you guys.
Yes,
Oh,
this
yeah.
was a lot of fun. We'll have to do it again.
I'm down whenever you guys need me.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we have our new marketing person. Signed,
Hello.
sealed. She said she's got
Hello.
marketing experience. There we go.
Yes.
You talked
Yes.
yourself into an unpaid job today.
See,
Thank
that's what happens. We
you.
bring these people on who have different degrees and stuff, and then
Yep.
we wait till the end to tell them, "Oh yeah, you're not working for us."
By the
hired.
way, you're doing an unpaid internship. But I think that's also like the perk of, especially going to like college together. We
Mhm.
know who we learned from, we know what we learned. So it's kind of what we're all supposed to do. What did they tell us the entire time we were in school? Network, network, network.
Network. Know your people.
They told me to go to
Jesus.
class and stop sleeping in.
Same germ.
Well, you got to do that
Not
first.
network,
That's the
yeah.
first
Oh my
step.
God.
There's
Stop
steps.
drinking and getting
After.
caught, Stevie.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
But
Still
we're older
undefeated.
now. We're wiser. We're good.
Shout
Yes.
out to Z for being the coolest security person ever. Like, oh, it's you. Just keep going.
Walk away. Walk away.
Every
Got the
time.
backpack in the bushes.
It's like
Sending text to us as they're coming by.
It's
like-
Guys, we're about
Turn the
to
music
break
down quick,
up.
guys.
Yes. Oh my God. We're going. Oh, Jesus.
the
Oh,
goat of
Lakeland,
goats.
Lakeland. Thank you for being our incubator.
Yes. Yes.
Ah,
Well, thank you, Stevie,
yes,
for your
thank you,
time,
sir.
for what you do. You're
Thank
a great
you.
person. You're changing lives. You've changed our lives. Keep it up. Keep doing it.
Thank you.
Keep
And,
making people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
You
my
got us within like
specialty.
5 minutes. Like, oh, have you ever thought about this?
Yeah, and then
No.
Beckley goes, "Okay, give me more. Give me more."
Wait, this is
I love
nice.
it.
I was
like it.
hooked. I'm hooked.
Good. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Truly, it's been a great opportunity.
I pulled the old Irish goodbye there. Huh?
I had
Oh,
half
no,
a
am I
minute,
here?
so let's hang up, get out of here.
Nope, I'm here, right?
Yeah,
You're back. You're back.
This is great library.
No, I will properly say goodbye and not leave you hanging like that. I
Mid
apologize.
sentence, boop, gone. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna try that.
It's really good to just get out of conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding. Be respectful and say goodbye to your friends, guys. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate
Yes.
it.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
coming on.
All right.
Thank you.
So,
All right,
ladies
we'll
and
check you
gentlemen,
later.
well, hold on. Let me close it out here. All right. Say
Oh,
goodbye. to
sorry.
everyone.
This is official as fuck.
Yeah. Damn.
Roll
All
me
right.
out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's been another episode of Happy Hour with Beer with the Boys and Stevie. Y'all have a wonderful time. He's been Germ, Scooter, Jeremy. I've been J-Dog, Jake, whatever the hell you want to call us. She's been Stevie. Y'all have been
Always.
amazing. May the beer be with you. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.